a journey of love, mistakes, and finding hope. Introduction. My name is Emma, and I want to share my story with you. This is not just my story, it's a story of love, mistakes, and hope. A story of strength, resilience, and finding oneself after being lost for so long. Let me take you back to the beginning, where it all started. Childhood. As a child, I was quiet and reserved. I didn't laugh loudly or speak up like other kids. My world was a small, silent one, dictated by rules that my parents firmly set. They loved me, but their love was strict, their expectations unyielding. No playing outside. No friends over. No hobbies, they'd remind me. I would watch other children running, laughing, and playing together. I wanted to join them so badly, to feel the sun on my face and hear the sound of my laughter mixed with theirs. But every time I asked, my parents said, "No. Stay inside. Focus on your studies." When I started school, I felt like an outsider. I didn't know how to interact with other kids. I kept to myself, afraid of saying the wrong thing. Over time, I made a few friends, but I stayed in my shell. I thought, if I'm quiet, I won't make mistakes. If I'm quiet, I'll be safe. Art was my only escape. I loved drawing. My sketches were my secret world, a place where I could express everything I couldn't say out loud. But when I told my parents I wanted to take art classes, they dismissed the idea. Art won't get you anywhere in life. Focus on school, they said. So, I buried my dreams and told myself that studying was all I was allowed to do. College and meeting Ryan. Years passed, and I finished school. When I went to college, I thought life might finally feel different. And it did, for a while. That's where I met Ryan. He was everything I wasn't, confident, outgoing, and full of life. He had this way of making people feel seen, and when he looked at me, I felt special for the first time in my life. "You're so beautiful," he told me one day, and I believed him. Ryan made me laugh. He listened to me. He made me feel like I was enough, just as I was. We spent hours talking about our dreams, our fears, and the future. When I told him I wanted to finish my degree and start a career, he smiled but said, "Why do you need a degree? We can get married, and I'll take care of you." I was 18, young and deeply in love. I believed Ryan was my future. So, when he asked me to marry him, I said yes. I thought love would be enough to make me happy. Early marriage. At first, it was. Life felt like a dream. We were happy and carefree, spending days laughing and dreaming together. Soon, we welcomed our first child, a beautiful baby girl we named Lily. She was perfect, her tiny hands, her soft smile, her big curious eyes. I promised myself that I would give her all the love and freedom I never had. But as the years went on, Ryan began to change. It started with small things. "You shouldn't wear those clothes," he said one day. "I don't like your short hair." I didn't think much of it at first. I wanted to make him happy, so I changed. I wore what he liked and grew my hair long. Then he said, "You don't need friends. Stay home with Lily." So, I stopped meeting people. I told myself, this is what love is. Compromise. Sacrifice. But inside, I felt a growing emptiness. The pain begins. One night, Ryan came home late. I could smell alcohol on his breath. When I asked where he'd been, he got angry. "You're not a good wife," he said. His words cut deep, but I stayed silent. As time passed, his anger grew. One day, during an argument, he hit me. I stood there, shocked, unable to believe what had just happened. I cried all night. I wanted to leave, but I was terrified. Where would I go? How would I survive with a child? I went to my parents for help, hoping they'd understand. But they said, "You're married now. A wife stays with her husband no matter what." So, I went back to Ryan. Another child, more struggles. Despite everything, we had another child, a boy named Jake. He was beautiful, with my smile and Ryan's eyes. But Ryan didn't even come to the hospital when Jake was born. When I came home, exhausted and vulnerable, he said, "Why are you back so soon?" By then, Ryan had a girlfriend. He didn't hide it. He told me, "She loves me more than you." I felt like nothing. Small. Invisible. But I stayed. I didn't know how to leave. Hitting rock bottom. When Ryan joined the army, he left me with 2 children and no support. I was alone, grieving the life I thought I'd have. One day, he called and said, "I found someone new. I'm happy now." I broke down. How could someone I gave everything to abandon me like this? But 3 months later, he called again. "I made a mistake," he said. "Take me back." And because I still loved him, I said yes. I wanted to believe we could fix our marriage. But deep down, I knew nothing had changed. Finding strength. One day, my neighbor Sarah knocked on my door. "Hi, Emma," she said. "Do you want to come over for tea?" I hesitated. What if Ryan found out? But something inside me said yes. Over tea, Sarah listened to my story. She didn't judge me or pity me. She said, "You're not alone. I'm here for you." Her words gave me hope. She suggested I start working from home. At first, I didn't think I could. But then I remembered my love for baking. I started small, making cakes for neighbors. Taking control. When Ryan found out, he was furious. "You don't need to work," he shouted. But for the first time, I stood my ground. "I'm doing this for me and the kids," I said. "I won't stop." Ryan was shocked. He didn't believe I could stand up to him. But I knew I had to. Rebuilding myself. I started setting boundaries. "If you hurt me again, I'll leave," I told Ryan. He didn't believe me at first, but I stayed strong. I also started reconnecting with myself. I cut my hair short. I wore colorful clothes. I laughed more. Lily noticed. One day, she said, "Mom, you look so happy." Her words reminded me why I was fighting so hard. A new beginning. I still don't know if Ryan will ever change. But I know I have. Every morning, I look at my children and remind myself why I keep going. Lily loves to draw and sing. Jake loves to play with cars and laugh loudly. They deserve a happy, safe life. And so do I. A message to you. If you're listening to my story, I want you to know something. You are stronger than you think. You can survive even the hardest days. Don't give up on yourself. This is my story, a story of love, mistakes, and hope. And if it inspires even one person, then it was worth sharing. Closing. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it.
Your support helps us keep creating valuable content. Thank you.